A 7-year-old boy in a blue school shirt ran across the basketball court, past the science fair tables, past the teachers, past his own mother, straight into the arms of a man in a worn gray jacket standing near the gym doors. The man froze. The boy held him tighter, and Vanessa Pierce, one of the richest mothers in the room, felt the paper plate of cookies shaking in her hands, because she knew that man. 7 hours earlier, she had laughed at him in a shoe store for counting quarters at the clearance counter. Now her son was calling him dad, and she was about to find out the truth she had never bothered to see. 7 hours earlier, Daniel Reyes stood in the kids' shoe aisle at Fenwick's outlet holding 2 pairs of sneakers in his hands. One pair was $14.99. The other was $16.50. His 6-year-old daughter Mia stood beside him, wearing a faded pink sweater and holding the hem of his jacket. "Which one do you like better, baby?" Daniel asked. Mia lifted the cheaper pair close to her face. The shoes had tiny silver stars on the side. "These ones," she said softly. "They look like night sky shoes." Daniel smiled. "Then night sky shoes it is." He walked to the counter and opened a small zip pouch. Inside were folded $1 bills, a few fives, and a handful of quarters. He started counting carefully. That was when Vanessa Pierce walked into the aisle with her friend Bradley. Vanessa wore designer sunglasses on top of her head, a cream blazer, and sandals that probably cost more than Daniel's weekly groceries. She picked up a pair of expensive children's shoes, looked at Daniel, then smirked. "Oh my God, Bradley," she said loudly. "People still shop from the clearance bin like it's 1995. Bradley laughed. 2 customers turned to look. Daniel kept counting. Mia looked down at the shoes in her hands. "Daddy," she whispered, "are these bad shoes?" Daniel stopped counting for half a second. Then he bent down and looked her in the eyes. "No, baby," he said gently. "They're special because you picked them." Mia hugged the shoes to her chest. Daniel stood back up and placed the money on the counter. $14.99, he said to the cashier. "Exact change." Vanessa laughed again, quieter this time, already walking away with the expensive pair in her hand. Daniel did not answer her. He had heard worse, and he had a little girl watching him. Vanessa did not think about him again. Not in the car, not at lunch, not while getting ready for her son Ethan's school showcase that evening. To her, Daniel was just a poor man in a worn jacket buying cheap shoes. A man easy to judge, a man easy to forget. But Daniel Reyes was not forgettable to everyone. 4 years earlier, Daniel had been a young father with a wife, a baby boy, a small apartment, and a plan. His son's name was Ethan. Daniel loved that boy more than anything. Then one rainy night, Daniel's wife died in a car accident. Ethan was only 18 months old and survived in the back seat. Daniel survived too, but only on paper. Grief broke him. Bills piled up, his job slipped away, his apartment followed. He slept in his car with a diaper bag in the back seat and a baby he loved more than he knew how to protect. When Ethan turned 3, a judge looked at the case and decided what Daniel already feared. The child needed stability. Daniel sat in that courtroom with red eyes and shaking hands. When the judge asked him if he had anything to say, Daniel looked at his son and whispered, "He deserves better than what I can give him right now." Those words destroyed him, but he meant them. Ethan was placed into adoption. Vanessa Pierce became his mother, and to her credit, she loved him fiercely. She never treated him like borrowed blood. She raised him, protected him, packed his lunches, sat beside him during fevers, and stayed up late helping him spell science words. But there was one thing she rarely talked about. Before Vanessa, there had been Daniel. Ethan did not remember his father clearly, but one evening when he was 6, Vanessa had opened a small memory box from his adoption file. Inside was a baby blanket, a hospital bracelet, and one old photo. In that photo, Daniel held baby Ethan against his chest. His hair was shorter, his face was younger, but the eyes were the same. Ethan had stared at that photo for a long time. "Is that my first dad?" he had asked. Vanessa had nodded. "He loved you very much," she had said. After that, Ethan kept the photo inside his drawer. He did not talk about it every day, but he remembered the face. Daniel never stopped trying either. Every year, he filed paperwork for supervised visitation. Every year, he called the caseworker.